Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Tembe Elephant Park here in Maputo, South Africa. We have got a lovely sunny afternoon with some elephant bulls that have come down to the watering hole to have a good mud bath. So my name is Kerry Dupree and I will be with you this afternoon live at the waterhole. So please feel free to send through those questions and comments, join in the conversation. So you can head across to our Twitter or head across to the app. Don't forget to use the hashtag @WildEarth, and you can also send through the questions and comments on WhatsApp as well. Or you can use the QR code on the screen now. It's a lovely sunny Sunday afternoon, and isn't it incredible to watch these giants of Tembe Elephant Park all having a good mud bath. So they seem to really love these mud puddles or mud wallows just kind of on the side of the dam. Here's our WhatsApp number that you can also send through your questions and comments. Love the red color. So it's interesting when you see all the different elephants at watering holes before they come in. You can see different areas that these elephants have been in. Obviously the soil is very red here, so these elephant bulls have changed color completely from their normal grayish coloration to this dark red color. And then sometimes they go and spend time in sandy areas with very white sand. For me, it's very special in West Africa when they visit these different watering holes or by areas that have different color sand in different parts of these clearings. And the elephants almost look like they've gone and had a painting party because they've got different colors splashed and splattered all over their skin. So very awesome to see the different colors that elephants can turn and change depending on the areas that they go and wallow in. Getting through some comments here. Hello, Penelope Kenyon. Thank you for joining us today. Looking forward to some of those questions. Gina Biddle is also joining us this afternoon. Hello, Gina. Joanne Mello, happy Sunday. I hope you're having a sunny Sunday, Joanne Mello. We also have Alina joining us from SA. Good afternoon, Alina. What a lovely day it is, and no better way to start our live at the waterhole today than with some elephants. Always lovely to have a bit of activity. Now in the rainy season we had some very quiet days here live at the waterhole. It's bucketing with rain. You don't always get the most active locations. So we also have Deb Davis, that is a new member. So good afternoon, Deb, or good morning for you from Pennsylvania in the US. Thank you for watching today, Deb. Hope we are filling your morning with some very interesting entertainment from the African bush. Fuzzy Dunlop, thank you for joining us, Fuzzy Dunlop, and hope you're having a lovely Sunday. Oh, and we also have Catherine. Thank you for joining us today, Catherine. Thank you for all the comments, everybody, and I hope everyone is having a very restful and relaxing Sunday, just like these elephants. So nice sunny day. I have just made my way back to Johannesburg. I was on a 3-week horse safari in Zimbabwe. Had some lovely sunny weather. A bit of rainfall, lots of nice clouds, those very dramatic clouds building up for a little bit of the last rains. I know South Africa has had scattered showers and some rainfall in certain areas, which for me seems to be quite unusual for this time of year, but apparently the last bit of rain could be falling in April before our long dry season begins. So yes, very excited to see what we're going to find at our locations today. See this big elephant bull on the left hand side that has very long, pretty impressive tusks. While we kind of changing from one location to the next, I always take note of the kind of difference in the elephants from one region to the next as we link from South Africa into Namibia, those elephants over in Lentoria as well. So in Kenya, so elephants all in different regions have different kind of tusks, different lengths, different thickness. Obviously here in Tembe, these elephants are very well known for having very long and thin tusks. I think the minerals in the soil here are very high, so very high mineral levels. Elephants are very healthy in this area, and obviously very good breeding and genetics which has been preserved in this very special park. Whereas if you go over to Namibia, over in Okukuyu, have a look at those elephant bulls there. They're very short, stumpy tusks. Could be because they're lacking of minerals, and also obviously the gene pool is mostly targeted towards those elephant bulls with smaller tusks. It's also very hot in Namibia, so elephants' tusks will crack a lot quicker, meaning they have these very short stumpy tusks while feeding and fighting. Even while mining for minerals, their tusks do break off quite often. Spent quite a few trips doing walking safaris or horseback safaris in the bush, and it's always worth stopping at an area like this, for example, that has some sodak mineral areas or little holes that you can see the elephants have been busy. Maybe you'll find a piece of broken off elephant tusks, or some sign of where the elephants have been feeding on those minerals. Just like how us humans need to have salt in our food and again have our electrolytes, so do these giant elephant bulls need to fulfill their diet with a bit of minerals and salts.
Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations, and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
And a zebra. Can be quite elusive in some areas. So yeah, giraffe populations are in decline at the moment. Their numbers are definitely decreasing in a lot of areas. This can be linked to one, habitat loss. There's less areas that these animals, giraffe, are able to survive in because of habitat being lost, and also could be due to elephants as well. So the height at which giraffe normally feed at, those trees are not always available in a lot of areas now because of a lot of trees being pushed over by elephants. So could be two of the factors. I know there's some diseases also in the giraffe population, some skin and fungal diseases that's also been affecting their population, but I don't think it's of a huge concern. Thank goodness for giraffe conservationists that are trying to protect this species. Another big elephant bull coming down to join the party. I'm having a look to see if this bull is in musk. He does look like his temporal glands are quite swollen, the side of his head there, but I'm not seeing any liquid leaking from his temporal glands. Sometimes when the elephants are in this elevated state of testosterone and must, they also have a bit of a swagger walk that can give away their mood or demeanor for the day. So Peter Thompson, it is lovely to see some elephants today. Always very good for the mental health to just take a break, watch some wildlife, and yeah, a bit of meditation time, a bit of wildlife in your day or in your week. Always a great way to just yeah, break away from the troubles of one's daily life. Well, just yeah, relax and watch wildlife, enjoy the sounds of nature. Such a healing way of entertainment. So Keith from Houston, Texas, thank you for sending through your comment, Keith. I'm glad that you're joining us this afternoon. I will actually be back on safari next month, but the location as to where I'm going, I will keep a surprise. So yeah, you have to give a guess as to where I'm going next month. So yeah, managed to book another stint with Wild Earth. So very excited to spend some more time back on one of the Wild Earth locations next month. Be very delighted. Yeah, always lovely to be back. So I haven't been on live at the waterhole for a few weeks, just been busy working, but I'll be with you for a couple of days this week, so really excited to see what we can find at all of our locations. So Diane is asking a question about elephants. So Diane wants to know, when an elephant is walking in a herd, if most of them have their trunks down, but one elephant has its trunk up, what does that mean? So Diane, this can be a variety of things. Obviously, an elephant's trunk is their nose, part of their olfactory sensory system. That's how they smell, that's how they take in a lot of information. So a lot of the time when elephants are moving, when elephants are walking, they will lift up their trunks, and it could be to pick up on any smells that might be around them. So if you're in a national park and you drive past some elephants, and maybe if you catch them off guard or by surprise, you'll see they'll all kind of be a bit startled, stop, turn around. Generally they huddle around the babies, and you can see a lot of trunk activity and trunk movement. This can be to try and pick up on any scent, any smells might be around them, and that's how they process what's happening around them. So just like how bats use echolocation to read their environment and to catch their food, same with elephants, they use smells and sounds in order to understand what is happening around them. So we have another Zimbabwean viewer watching today, Nokutenda. Thank you so much for watching. Where are you from, Nokutenda? I was in Wangi National Park and at Bulawayo on my last trip through Zimbabwe. So I'd love to know where it is in Zimbabwe you are tuning in from, Nokutenda. Lovely to have some more Zimbabwean viewers out there, and we are very delighted to be back on DSTV. It just makes a lot more viewers able to access this incredible feed. Check out this boy, isn't he impressive? Massive tusks and having a very good mud bath. So elephants often mud bath like this. It's not just a cooling method, so yes, it does help to cool themselves down. So you'll see they often suck up this mud, splash it behind their ears, so it's a very good way of cooling, but also to help to protect their skin, one from the sun but also from insects. So elephants do have very thick skin, but in some places the soft tissue, they are susceptible to being bitten or attacked by a certain insect, so they'll use this mud also as a bit of an insect repellent as well. So yeah, kind of like a dual purpose of having a mud bath. Animals that love to mud bath besides elephants are buffalo, rhinos, and of course warthogs. Always lovely to watch warthogs having a good old mud bath. So Gina Biddle, yes, there is definitely something soothing and relaxing about watching elephants, watching all animals, but elephants are such majestic creatures, is so well in tuned with their senses and just being in nature, and yeah, definitely have a very peaceful vibe about them when sitting watching some elephants. Also listening to elephants. I love just sitting and listening to elephants sometimes, because it's amazing how massive these elephant bulls can get. Some elephant bulls can weigh between 8 to 10 tons, but yet they move so silently through the bush. So we have Mr. Ellie Mental joining us from Southwest Australia. Hello, Mr. Ellie. Great to have some Australian viewers. Looks like we've got some viewers from all over the globe today. So lovely to have a variety of viewers. We also have Jive Bunny. Surprise location, Jive Bunny. Yes, for sure. I will be on the safaris, yeah, from next month, I think around, yeah, middle of next month. And yeah, you're welcome to give a guess which is my next location I'll be heading to. But yeah, really excited to get onto some drives as soon as possible. Gina Biddle, this is a gorgeous site. I will agree with you there. Victoria is also sending some messages through. So Victoria is asking about how many days. So Victor is asking how many days can elephants survive without water. So Victor, elephants can survive a few days without water. They do need to drink at least once to twice a day, but they can go for at least 3 to 4 days without water. I mean, a big bull, but your little baby elephants, they do need to drink a lot more often. Whether it's suckling from their mother or drinking water. So female elephants or the elephant breeding herds, they are a lot more dependent on water because of those youngsters, but big bulls can surely go a couple of days without water, especially if it's in the case of a drought and they have to move very far distances in order to find the next watering hole. So we have some more viewers. We have Hendrik is from Bloemfontein, Free State. Thank you for joining us, Hendrik, and sending in your location. I hope you're having a lovely afternoon. I hope, yeah, you're also having a nice sunny Sunday over in Bloemfontein. Seems like there's really great weather. Yeah, nice to see the sun out. I'm sure all of our residents in Johannesburg were getting enough of the rain, non-stop rain for 2 weeks in Johannesburg, I believe, until Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, nice to see the sun out after 2 weeks solid with constant rain. Isn't that crazy? So Tembe is looking very lush and green as well. I know last year Tembe did have some late rains, and it's actually one of the only locations I remember from last year that was green pretty much throughout the dry season. So it was really nice to kind of link across to Tembe just to get a bit of greenery, a bit of freshness, because some of the locations during the dry season, most of our locations can be very dry and barren, so especially over in Namibia. So yeah, lovely to see that Tembe's received some really good rainfalls this year. Alrighty folks, why don't we go and check out one of our other locations and see what's happening over in Coral.
Chidzana natsi maran tumbuluko. Haina nchumo, haina maka. Emava kwenye ya milu, haina maka. Lifasira mina ritapela. Zatsemba, utatsamana mina.
Talking about our locations and birding, good luck to John Kinghorn for all your birding in Sandringham. Also looks like we've got another leopard that was sighted, Rulani, that was sighted this morning and over the weekend. This is a new leopard to me. I don't know much about her, so if any of our viewers know any information about this leopard that has been sighted over in Sandringham, I'd love to hear her story and where she's from. She's quite a beautiful little leopard, and she was spotted near a pan that it was very green. It looked like a pea soup pan. Gosh, looks like a lovely little leopard that was seen. We've had some great sightings of some lions also over in Amakhala this weekend, so nice to see pride of the lions in Amakhala. So yeah, just catching up on all the locations, seeing what's happening, and yeah, all the best to Steve and Morgan and Amakhala. I hope they're going to have some great sightings over there, and yeah, we look forward to seeing what's coming up for the week, what wild sightings we will have on the sunset and sunrise safaris. So we've got Kev Zim is sending through a comment. Kev Tyron, apparently from Harare. Oh dear, it is such a small world in Zimbabwe. So Kev, my parents' names are Ian and Claire Dupreez, so yeah, I guess that means we might be related. Yeah, Zimbabwe is a very, very small country. Most of the time, if you say you're from Zimbabwe or South Africa, you always get someone saying, oh, have you seen, do you know this person, do you know that person? And mostly we do know each other, so yeah, very, very small country. Yeah, definitely worth a visit. I don't know if any of our other viewers watching today have spent much time in Zimbabwe. Hopefully today we'll be able to check out the Safari Lodge camera over in Wangi. So I did spend quite a lot of time riding around that camera trap and on the Africam camera, and I actually had an incredible sighting of wild dogs. So it was actually my last horseback safari in Wangi. We were surrounded by wild dogs that were hunting impala around the camp, and yeah, after our ride finished and we watched the dogs, they managed to catch a few impala. We headed over to yeah, the Safari Lodge, and we were actually listening to the wild dogs while watching them on the Africam camera. So it was incredible to actually be at that location over in Wangi while listening to the dogs calling one another. Really, really awesome sighting. So here the zebra are standing head to toe, as we mentioned, helping to swish the flies off of each other's faces. They seem to be very relaxed, having a nice chilled, relaxing Sunday afternoon. This is the stallion on the right hand side, and yeah, I tell you, you do not want to receive a kick from this male anytime. They give nasty kicks, zebra. Yeah, definitely good defense against predators. Nasty kick, nasty bite, and especially the males while fighting with each other as well. So Nokutenda is asking a question about zebra and their stripes. So yes, Nokutenda, just like humans, zebra's stripes are very unique to each other. Just like humans have unique fingerprints, so do zebra have their own unique stripes. I do find that with individuals from the same family, they might have similarities in their stripes. So if we have a look on this zebra, the stallion on the right hand side, on his shoulder here, he's got a very interesting kind of triangle formation on his shoulder, and sometimes on the sides of their cheeks and on their rump they might have a specific interesting collection of where the stripes meet together. And I have seen it from one generation to the next, so from an older female zebra grandmother to her daughter and to her granddaughter. There are often similarities in their stripes and patterns, but of course each and every single zebra and individual is unique, so very special there. Very special. Now, zebra are one of my favorite animals, and in fact my spirit animal. So if any of our viewers are watching today and you have a spirit animal, I'd love to know what everyone's spirit animals are out there. My spirit animal and my totem animal is a zebra. In Africa, obviously Big Five is a big one. A lot of people in villages would say, yeah, Big Five is definitely most popular. Lion, leopard, elephant, rhino, buffalo, eland. Eland is also a great totem animal to have. They're very majestic, very strong. Antelopes, eland is a good one. Hyena as well. I know a lot of people also really enjoy hyena. And honey badger. Honey badger is a very relentless spirit animal to have. So please send through your favorite animal or what your spirit animal is. I'd love to see what our spirit animals are today, folks. So Kev, it looks like Wild Earth has actually just helped me connect with a family member that I never knew that I had in Harare. So Kev Zim, yes, I think we are definitely second cousins. So my grandfather is Trevor, and so I do think we are related somehow. Please feel free to go and find me on Instagram. My name is Kerry Dupree, and you can find me on Instagram. So thank you to Wild Earth for connecting family members to each other. So isn't that crazy? Not just connecting wildlife with humans and humans with wildlife, but also connecting long lost family members, and just shows how small Zimbabwe is. Oh, how awesome. Yeah, what a lovely day watching these zebras. Send through those spirit animals, people. I want to know what your spirit animal is. What is your favorite animal? What do you relate with? Which animal's character most closely resembles your own? So we got a comment from Wild at Heart. So apparently this female leopard was seen in Chitwa, not Sandringham. So thank you very much, Wild at Heart. Apparently, yeah, I'd love to know if you have any other information on this beautiful female leopard, Wild at Heart. I think her name was Rulani, if I'm not mistaken. So Rulani, a little female leopard that was seen on Chitwa. Hope you have a lovely day, Wild at Heart, and thank you for that. Wild at Heart is also asking about galloping through the bush with lions. So yes, Wild at Heart, not too far from where the Africam camera is in Wangi Safari Lodge, we did have a lion in the flay the one day, which I was not aware of, while we were having a fabulous afternoon horseback safari, while the game viewers were all piling up. Of course, not always the first one to be attracted to when there's sightings and if you're on horses. So we just kind of passed by, left the game viewers to do their thing, but they were actually looking at a big male lion called Blondie, so a very famous male lion in the Wangi National Park area, that the day after he was probably watching us riding by, he had 9 female lionesses joining him in the flay. So I'm quite delighted we didn't bump into 10 lions. It would have not made for a great afternoon safari. There's a few too many lions surrounding us on horseback, so not the most great thing to watch. Alrighty folks, why don't we head over to Victoria Falls watering hole and see what's happening at Safari Lodge in Zimbabwe. Oh, have a look what we have here folks. So we are here at Victoria Falls Safari Lodge watering hole in Zimbabwe, and we have a great white egret that looks like he's about to make a kill. Oh! I don't know if you got anything there. These great white egrets will hunt for little frogs, tadpoles at this time of year, little fish as well. They'll also feed on insects, so they move very stealthily through the water and through the grass and reeds, and got a very accurate sense of sight. Whoop! There we go. Looks like he got a little fish. Delightful fish for lunch. So Jive Bunny, thank you for updating me about the Drakensberg camera. I do believe the Drakensberg camera is now active. It's called Nestflix. Yes, I'll definitely be checking that out sometime soon. See what those vultures are up to in the Drakensberg. I'd love to see those bearded vultures up in the Drakensberg. Such an incredible vulture species, very similar to the condors. I'm sure a lot of our viewers will know of the condors from South America. I think you get condors in Canada as well, if I'm not mistaken. I had a friend that did a condor relocation project over in Canada. They rescued a pair of condors, started a breeding program, and then reintroduced them into wild. So yeah, it'll be awesome to see some bearded vultures up in the Drakensberg. So thank you very much for that info. So I've asked some of our viewers if we can send through any of your spirit animals. Catherine said her spirit animal is a honey badger, which I think is a very good choice for a spirit animal. They're very resilient and powerful creatures, those little honey badgers. So I think it's just about lunchtime, so we have a few vultures. These are white-backed vultures that are hanging around. There's one hooded vulture on the left here, maybe waiting for lunchtime to arrive. So Gina Biddle is asking how she could find out what her spirit animal is. So Gina Biddle, like in African culture, how your totem animal gets given to you, or a spirit animal, is normally by a chief in your area or a headman, and it is given to your family, like a family crest. But if you don't have a village headman nearby or a spiritual healer that can give you your spirit animal, then normally the people close to you can also kind of sync and relate your character to an animal. Like, what kind of character do you have, and which animal best suits your character. So Joanne Mello, for example, is saying that her favorite animal, spirit animal, is a cheetah. So yeah, it's great to hear what your spirit animal is. Yeah, lovely to hear all this. And Ellie Mental said that his spirit animal is a panda or a sloth. I think it's always great to go into panda or sloth mode every now and then. I couldn't live in panda mode or sloth mode for too long, but yeah, it's always good to remember to sometimes slow down in life and just take some time, smell the roses. So these vultures are all flying around. I think lunchtime is still coming up, so I don't think they're thermaling. Right, so I think we're going to hang around here, folks, see if we can watch the vulture feeding. So we'll flick across to the sky camera and, stay for the vulture feeding here at Safari Lodge.
Zitatamana wena, moya wa mina, ukomba wena, takuranza loko tamana wena.
It's been a great morning out and about and exploring.
It's amazing. It's very hard to explain what this feels like.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member today
and unlock extras and bonuses, like ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in your safari without any interruption. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Join now to avoid missing out on these amazing benefits. Help us connect people to nature.
Best sighting I've presented, I found myself with wild dogs. We chased the dogs around, chased them around. They ate an impala, we got the end of that. Then another impala went into Gowrie Dam down the road there, and the wild dogs went around. Eventually the impala came close to the bank. One wild dog went and grabbed it and then just pulled it out and just did what wild dogs do. It was an emotional experience, but it was very, very special.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live. We are thrilled to announce our new exclusive feature for YouTube members and explorers. Join us live every Tuesday for our sunrise and sunset safaris. Experience Tawny Tuesday like never before with up-close encounters and breathtaking moments. Don't miss out. Become a YouTube member or explorer today and immerse yourself in the heart of the bush. See you Tuesday.
Such an incredible view to be able to watch these vultures all coming down to feed here at the watering hole. So yes, Gina Biddle, it is lovely to be able to watch this vulture feeding. And yes, Alex, it is definitely a feeding frenzy today. Lots happening, lots of vulture activity here. So vultures do play a very crucial role in our ecosystem. So they, as I mentioned, they do act as a clean-up crew, and some important facts about why we need vultures in the ecosystem. So these scavengers obviously are scavengers. They clean up carcasses and any dead animals that might be in the bush, and that prevents any diseases from spreading. So the food and the meat that these vultures can feed on is quite toxic. So They do feed on this carrion and feed on meat that might be rotting, that wouldn't be edible to any other animals. So they can eat meat that's contaminated with anthrax, rabies, or even botulism, and they're not affected by these diseases. They help to clean up any of this kind of excess rotting materials, rotting meat in the ecosystem to keep the ecosystem healthy. So they do have a very efficient digestive system to do this. So the vultures in their stomachs, they do have an acid, so extremely strong acid, which kills off harmful pathogens in decaying meat that other scavengers might actually spread. So these vultures will kill the pathogens as opposed to spreading these pathogens. So they also help to support the nutrient cycle. So by consuming this carrion, vultures help return nutrients to the soil, supporting plant growth and keeping the ecosystem balanced. And they also limit the population of pests. So without vultures, carcasses would attract a lot of pests like rats, feral dogs, insects, parasites, scarabs and beetles that might be unhealthy for the environment, flies as well, so your fly population would definitely go up. So this helps to reduce the spreading of diseases to humans and livestock. But unfortunately, many vulture species are critically endangered due to quite a few factors, but mostly being habitat loss, poisoning. Lead poisoning is a big one for these poor vulture species, and it's kind of I'd say like a domino effect. It's not just killing the initial birds, but it weakens the shells of the eggs, preventing the eggs from hatching. So it's kind of like a domino effect of lead poisoning. They also collide with power lines quite often, so it's quite special as BirdLife South Africa, BirdLife Zimbabwe have been working very hard over the last 10 years to prevent unnecessary accidents with vultures. So if you want to go and read up, if you go have a look at the BirdLife South Africa, BirdLife Zimbabwe Instagram or Facebook pages or websites, you'll go and see some of the initiatives that they have taken. I know Eskom, they had a big project with Eskom where they were actually protecting the tops of these power lines in order to prevent vultures being unnecessarily killed by these power lines. So yeah, very interesting that I know vultures are kind of like hyenas. They're often villainized and not exactly loved by everyone, but they're such a crucial part of our ecosystem, and they do such an important job in our ecosystem to help to keep it clean and free of parasites and bacteria. So Dark Mane Lover, thank you for joining us today, and it is a pleasure to be back with you live at the waterhole. Alrighty folks, well it looks like our vulture feeding frenzy is just about over, so why don't we go check out our other locations and see what's happening at the Tau. Ooh, looks like something has frightened our springbok. Uh-oh. A lot of activity going on here. So we've got a male waterbuck that possibly looks like Valentine's Day has come a bit late for him. He's wooing one of the females here. But we'll keep a lookout, folks, for any lions and cheetah. I know we do get lions and cheetah at this location. The zebra were running around, and so with the springbok. I'd love to see a cat today. I'd love maybe a lion. Cheetah would be pretty cool. I dreamt of leopards last night, so I would love to see a leopard as well. Very handsome male waterbuck here. So it's very common to have waterbuck here at Tau Lodge. I think there was, actually I watched a video on the Africam website where the two male waterbucks jumped into this pan, and one of them, I don't know why both of them jumped in. Maybe they were fighting, I have no idea, but the two big male waterbucks jumped into this pan, and I think one of them got chomped by a crocodile. I don't know if I felt sorry for them, because it wasn't a great idea for both of them to be in the pan in the first place. So one of them was definitely going to get eaten for lunch. So it wasn't the smartest idea, but I guess a lot of male antelope, when they have elevated levels of testosterone, do some not questionable things to win the affection of some females. Lovely to see some white-faced whistling ducks, and of course there we have our springbok. So we just have a few more comments I'm catching up on here. So Alex thought that the vultures were very well behaved today. I agree with you there, Alex. There weren't too many marabou stalks. When there's a lot of marabou stalks, there can be a bit of skullduggery or mischief going on. And here's one of our big crocodiles as the water levels are dropping slowly. You see lots of banks exposed, leaving some space for these crocodiles to come and lie up in the sunshine. Ooh, this crocodile's giving me a bit of a, I don't know, a weird feeling right now. I would not like to be like those waterbuck males stuck in this pan while there's giant crocodile like this around. These crocodiles are opportunistic hunters, and sometimes I don't think it matters the size of their prey. It's just if they have an opportunistic moment, especially if their prey is stuck in the mud, the crocodiles will definitely take a chance at a free lunch. So we have some more spirit animals coming through here. So Lady Macbeth, Trixie Rose has a famous grouse as her spirit animal. A very majestic, beautiful bird. Jive Bunny is actually swapping his spirit animal for a leopard tortoise. I don't blame you, Jive Bunny. Leopard tortoises are very, very wise and calculated little creatures. Very long lifespan. Very good to have that armored shell for protection. So yeah, thank you everyone for sending through. Oh, we've got Canine Girl has also sent through her spirit animal, which is a lion with a hint of eagle. So yeah, majestic soaring abilities of an eagle, as well as the cunning wit of a lion. So I think that's a good combination. So thank you everyone for sending through your spirit animals today. Oh, we have some more waterbuck. Again, these waterbuck are being quite brazen, feeding so close to the water here, but they're obviously really enjoying feeding on this nice, soft, green, lush vegetation. But yeah, a little waterbuck like that would very easily be taken by a crocodile, and in this thick mud it might be a little bit difficult to fight back. And all the crocodile has to do is wait patiently in this water for the right moment, grab onto his victim's snout and drag them into the water for long enough to suffocate their prey. Once that's done, then they normally engage in the death roll to rip off some pieces of flesh before consuming the rest of their meal. It's a very cute little waterbuck, I must say. It's a lovely sight watching these waterbuck. Oh, that little waterbuck must be probably, I wouldn't say it's older than a month old. It's a tiny, cute little thing. Isn't it adorable, this little guy? So we have a question here about crocodiles. So Alex is asking about the tail of the crocodile. It had different colored patches and colors on his tail. So Alex, different species of crocodiles do naturally have slightly different colored patterned skin as well. So, and even within different individuals. So it's just like with humans, how we all have different colored skin. So crocodile skin does help them to camouflage themselves. So their skin color helps to blend into their surroundings. So depending on where they live, crocodiles can be a grayish color to green to brown, and in some areas almost black, in order to match the murky water or banks that they might reside in. So yeah, also if a crocodile's wet on some places of their body, their color might change too, or might seem different, or yeah, so lots of different colorations in different crocodiles. So just like reptiles, crocodiles, they do shed their skin. So after shedding, the color of their skin might also appear brighter. And in cases of illness, so if a crocodile is ill or suffering from any diseases, they could also change slightly the appearance of their skin as well. So I spent a lot of time in West Africa with the slender snouted crocodile, which If one is afraid of crocodiles, imagine crocodiles that could climb trees. So yes, the slender-snouted crocodiles are not as big as your Nile crocodiles. I know some of the biggest Nile crocodiles recorded between 18 to 21 feet, whereas your slender-snouted crocodiles maximum 4 to 6 feet. So not as long, but these slender-snouted crocodiles have the very unique ability of having to climb trees. So very long, strong back legs, which helps prop them up and climb up into the trees, which is quite petrifying if you think about it, because there's really is then no way that you can get away from those crocodiles if they can climb trees. Tree climbing crocodiles, just give that a thought for a moment. Yeah, and then as you come down the river, they flop themselves into the water. It's quite a unique and interesting sight, but yeah, very cool little crocodiles. Must say, probably one of my favorite crocodiles. You also get the dwarf crocodiles up in West Africa too, but to me they're very prehistoric looking, and yeah, I'm not too fond of the dwarf crocodiles, but definitely really like those slender snouted tree crocodiles. Dark Mane Lover is mentioning that his spirit animal would have to be a cheetah with a hint of peregrine falcon. So thank you, Dark Mane Lover. It's definitely a lot you can read into about people's spirit animals, and yeah, the characters that they resemble. Lovely to watch these waterbuck, some impala here, and some zebra. This lovely, beautiful male waterbuck. See how widely splayed his horns are? So, yeah, very impressive male, with a nice little herd of females as well. So got another crocodile question coming through here from Nokutenda. So Nokutenda's asking about the ideal hatching among crocodiles. So Nokutenda, if you're asking about the male and female, what the hatching temperatures are. So crocodile sex is determined by the temperature, not necessarily genetics. So yeah, it is called the temperature-dependent sex determination between the males and the females. So for temperatures around 28 to 30 degrees Celsius or 82 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit will generally be the females. And the higher temperatures will be between 30 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit, or 30 degrees Celsius or 93 degrees Fahrenheit and above. These will mostly be males. So yeah, it's kind of the mid-range temperature for males to be born is 31 degrees, around 31 degrees to 35 degrees Celsius is where your males will generally hatch. So males, I think, will be on top, so the females will be colder. So the colder eggs at the bottom of the nest will be your females, and then the hotter, warmer eggs at the top of the nest will be males. So that's why the female crocodile, when she buries her eggs, generally, depending on the area, egg laying will be between August to September. Crocodiles love to have nice, soft, sandy banks to dig their holes, and then they bury their eggs. Female will still come out every day. She'll guard her nest very ferociously. She'll come and lie on her nest as well to keep that nest warm, so that she can have some males that are born hatched from those eggs as well. Once the eggs are hatched, the little babies start crawling out of the sand, and they start to make a bit of an alarm call, which then the mother comes to collect them in her mouth and take them down to the water. Fortunately, crocodile eggs are very much susceptible to predators, such as monitor lizards will dig up a nest for a crocodile if it gets a chance and feed on those eggs. So Canine Girl, I'll agree with you there. The facial structure of that waterbuck is beautiful. What if this white-faced whistling duck is stuck in the mud here? Alright folks, I think we have some warthogs over at Nkoro. Maybe if we're lucky they'll come down for a mud bath and give us some entertainment. So why don't we head over to Nkoro and the Sabi Sands and see what our warthogs are up to. Sounds like we've got an oxpecker right next to the camera here, making quite a racket. And some little baby warthogs, some young warthogs. Well, not little baby anymore, so they're probably from last year already, but some little warthogs play fighting with each other. Oh, what a lovely sight this is to watch warthogs. I was really hoping they would come and have a mud bath. Yeah, it's always lovely to watch warthogs having a good old mud bath. Just before, about 4 weeks ago, we had some warthogs mud bathing over in Amakala that we watched for hours, and actually in Oldonyo as well. It's always entertaining watching these warthogs. Very playful characters. Game reserve that I grew up on in Zimbabwe, they rescued a warthog and they also had a baby rhino. So they had a rescued warthog at one stage, a hyena, and a little baby rhino that unfortunately the parents had been shot. So they had these three little creatures, very different, very unusual, warthog, hyena, and a rhino, that became best friends and used to wrestle and play with each other just like this. I think there's actually a book and a small video that have been made about this little rhino family. I think it's called There's a Rhino in My Kitchen, and it's very cute when the little baby rhinos only weighs under 100 kilograms and is kind of knee height, but when that rhino grows up and now you've got a giant rhino roaming around in your house, it's a little bit more difficult to maneuver. So that baby rhino's name was Tatenda, and Tatenda was successfully released back into the wild. They did find him a little girlfriend, and he helped to restart a breeding program on a reserve in Zimbabwe. So yeah, very, very special story of this little rhino that made friends with a hyena and a warthog. Very unusual friendship. Probably never happened in a wild environment, but it did help that they were all quite young at the time. But they used to play on the lawn like this for hours. This actually looks like a female, so it could be one of the females that's got one of her youngsters that's actually challenging her. So you can see on the right she's a bit bigger, she's got small tusks, and one of her little ones is maybe giving her some uphill, deciding to be difficult on this Sunday afternoon. Oh, you can just watch these guys for hours. So these warthogs are kind of living their best life right now. In the dry season, warthogs will feed on lots of grass and grass seeds, and then only when times get tough in the dry season, so green season, they really enjoy all the grass and the grass seeds, but in the dry season, that's when they kind of have to really get down onto their haunches and dig up rhizomes, roots, tubers, and yeah, really look hard for their food. So just like all pigs, warthogs are omnivores. So I have on a few occasions seen warthogs actually feeding at the vulture restaurant at Safari Lodge, and if they're given the chance, they will also come to carcasses and feed on the stomach content and intestines at a carcass. Not the most delightful meal, but yeah, they do need to sustain their diet, so they can be quite gross, these warthogs, with the things that they eat, just like domestic pigs. So Gina Biddle, these warthogs sure are having a great time. I do love them when they're full of beans, full of energy, the little ones all bouncing around all over the place, sometimes chasing their tails. You just wonder, like, what on earth is going on in that thing's mind? Very refreshing and energizing to watch. Sometimes how you wish you could wake up on a Monday morning. Whatever these warthogs are eating or taking, I wish you could preserve that and take it on a Monday when you need some extra energy to start off your week. So we've got a comment from Jive Bunny. So Jive Bunny is talking about Gupo Jr. that caught a warthog yesterday at Amakala and apparently was tossing it around like a rugby ball. So Jive Bunny, I'm guessing Gupo is one of the lions. I saw at Amakala Steve did see the lions, so I'm guessing one of the lions named Gupo Jr. did catch a warthog at Amakala. Yeah, shame. I do feel sorry for these warthogs because they're very much preyed on by most predators. We've got a young sub-adult wildebeest or gnu, blue wildebeest, with his mother down here at the watering hole. It's probably a youngster from December, January, so looking at about 4 or 5 months old already. So you can see the length of their horns just in a couple of months. Wonder where the rest of her herd is. It's normally not usual for a female wildebeest to be on her own with a youngster. It's a perfect area for lots of animals to come into these open areas, lots of symbiosis going on, symbiotic relationships or commensalistic relationships with lots of animals feeding and grazing and drinking all in these open areas. If one specific animal alarm calls or one of these antelope alarm calls, maybe there's vervet monkeys around, it'll kind of make all the other animals aware. So more eyes and the more ears out there listening for any predators around, the more kind of warning that they'll get. So hopefully there'll be no surprise attacks by any lions here at Nkoro today. Still got our zebra. They have not moved very much. Let's see what else is out there today. I love these little paths coming from watering holes. So spent a little bit of time doing some walking in Zimbabwe as well, not just all horse safaris, but did a bit of walking, and it's always such a pleasure to walk down these animal pathways, see what has been there, find some fresh elephant tracks, maybe if you're lucky some leopard tracks and lion tracks. We had a lion camp the one night coming to check out our horses, we were not delighted about, and it was really cool the next day going and tracking this female lion, seeing where she'd lain on the road, how she had positioned herself, her elbow scuff marks in the soil. So yeah, lovely to follow these little pathways leading up to a watering hole and see what was there. Lots of impala around, nice breeding herd. They're all looking very healthy after the rainy season. Yeah, I think we just missed our warthog mud bath. They look like they've already had a bit of a muddy wallow. I'm not seeing any vervet monkeys, but there's another individual that generally partakes in this commensalistic kind of relationship that animals have in open areas. Is the vervet monkeys. There'll always be a bit of a centurion, one male vervet monkey that will be sitting up in a tree somewhere while the rest of the troop is down on the ground foraging and feeding, and in case of any alarm or predators around, they'll normally alarm call and kind of alerts any other monkeys in the area, but also any antelope, that there might possibly be a predator close by. So Starbuck's asking a pretty cool question. So how are species able to recognize the alarm calls of other species? So Starbuck, it's kind of like, so obviously interspecies, if you have different species, they can recognize an alarm call, but they might not. So for example, the impala and the wildebeest will recognize a vervet monkey alarm calling for something. They might not hear what they're alarm calling for, but they will hear an alarm call. So for example, I think vervet monkeys have 9 to 10 different alarm calls for different predators. So they'll have one alarm call for, say for example, leopard, one alarm call for a bird of prey, one alarm call for snake, for humans. So the other vervet monkeys in the area, or the other vervet monkeys of the same species, they'll be able to hear, recognize, and understand exactly which alarm call is being made for which animal. Whereas any of the other antelope in the area, they might not know what specific animal is being alarm called for, but they will recognize the alarm call itself. Quite a nice dark male zebra here on the right, very dark and black in color. So yeah, isn't he a beautiful specimen? How lovely. This must be the stallion of this group. I know at Safari Lodge, Africam did post on their Instagram not so long ago about this zebra that had a black patch on its face, so a bit of a darker coloration. There is also a zebra in Wangi that I call it the QR code zebra, because it does have like almost a saddle blanket patch on its back, looks like a saddle pad, where its spots and stripes are kind of look very much like a bit of a QR code. They're a bit mangled. So yeah, this is very interesting. There's a lot of these color variations or color mutations in zebra that we're seeing coming up now quite often. Whoa, so I'm actually having a look at the Africam website right now. I was trying to look for the that zebra, and I'm actually looking, and we can see the wild dogs that I spoke about a week ago that were at the Safari Lodge Pan while we were there, the same dogs that I watched take down a kill right in front of us. I'll probably share it on my Instagram later this afternoon if you want to check those dogs circling us. And the wild dogs that later went to the Safari Lodge in Wangi were chased by some elephants. So you don't see that every day. How crazy is that? So the dogs were playing at the watering hole at Safari Lodge, and an elephant came and chased them. Isn't that crazy? What else is happening here at Safari Lodge? Well, the zebra haven't moved much in the last hour or so. They've still been hanging around here. It's really useful when your other fellow zebra in the same herd help with swishing any flies away from your face there. Look how they kind of, yeah, it's also a bonding moment, good bonding moment for them as well. Not seeing any hippos or crocodiles in this small pan. I do know there is one hippo that does sometimes frequent this pan, comes down, hangs out in the pan for a couple of days, but it's quite a shallow pan, so it's not too suitable, I would say, for hippo to stay here for very long. Also, if a herd of elephants comes through here, they'll probably take up the whole expanse of the pan. That might mean the hippo could be displaced. Don't think a hippo will take on a herd of elephants coming to claim this watering hole. So it's late afternoon. I guess the zebra might have had a busy morning. I don't think they look too phased or too worried. They've probably been feeding away all morning, so just taking a bit of a break, also having a chilled Sunday. So generally a harem. So I think this is 2 different harems that are actually at this watering hole. So you can see this male with his 3 females, and then there's obviously another male off to the right with probably another 2 to 3 females. So the zebra can have a harem of anything between 2 to 5 or 6 females at one time, and yeah, they'll try their best to steal some females from another harem if they get a chance, and this is when the males do fight quite ferociously with one another. And yeah, I have seen on a few occasions some female zebras actually having their babies or their foals killed by other males, and in some cases the females get in the way and can also be killed by the males while fighting to defend their little ones. So Jive Bunny apparently had a family of warthogs that stopped by their hotel in Chobe near the swimming pool, and apparently the little ones were very entertaining. Yes, Jive Bunny, like I said, I would love to know what kind of grass or giggle cabbage those little baby warthogs feed on that gives them so much sprightly energy. I love it when they do this, like hopping to the side thing while chasing their tail and like just bouncing all over the place. It's so energizing and refreshing to watch these little souls. But yeah, as we've come out of the calving season, so most areas in Africa, rainy season is from December to about February, March. Some areas like Zimbabwe, Botswana, Zambia, South Africa experiencing their last rainfalls in April. You get this baby boom, and there's just been babies everywhere, and it's been so magical to see all these little creatures, all these little bundles of joy running all over the place. Just gives you some positive, a bit of a positive outlook to life after a dry season that can be quite torturous and long for some mammal species like elephants. Had a very long dry season last year. Lots of elephants died in many parks all over southern Africa, especially Zimbabwe, Botswana, Zambia, which is a normal and natural occurrence, a part of natural selection as well. But so it is great to have the rainy season coming, to have all this fresh new life bouncing about all over the show.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member and unlock exclusive bonuses and benefits. Enjoy uninterrupted, ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in nature. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Enjoy exclusive access to special broadcasts and videos, and help us to connect people to nature.
excitement or fear when fleeing from danger. So yeah, it's quite comical, but a very clever behavior. The little upright tail is like a little built-in antenna for these warthogs. It does help to ground their escape, help their escape for a group, so they all stick together. So yeah, very interesting. Lovely breeding herd of kudus. You see there's a few females in the distance here. This is a bit more impressive bull on the left hand side, although again he's still got to do a bit of bulking up there. I think he needs to take his creatine or protein powder. He's still a bit small, but he definitely knows he's bigger than this younger bull, giving him a bit of a challenge. So yeah, generally with these kudus you can tell the age spiral of their horns, but also once they become mature their horns thicken, as well as their necks. Oh, look at this little black crake. Check out that little guy. Well, rather unusual to see a black crake. I think it ventured further from the watering hole, which is quite unusual to see. You never really see black crakes too far from water, so quite strange to see a black crake far from the water running towards the watering hole like that. How cool. See our little family group. I did see a female somewhere, but it could be a bachelor group of kudu. You will get these collections of bachelor group of kudu males that will form together to form a bit of a safety group. Lots of wild dog in this area. So yeah, main prey species for wild dog is the kudu. Definitely on the wild dogs menu, so probably to keep themselves safe they'll form these bachelor groups while waiting to be able to take over their own family. So Penelope Kenyon, sounds like you had quite a traumatic experience with a baby warthog that chased you at Chobe Game Lodge and even managed to jump up onto a car. Wow, that yeah, I think I would also be quite petrified myself as well if I got chased by a baby warthog. These male warthogs, then when they're older and they have those tusks, they can inflict quite a bit of pain, I must say, cause very nasty injuries with those tusks of theirs. It could definitely give you a few gaping holes in your calves. Yeah, even when leopards are hunting these warthogs in their burrows, they need to be very careful, because if a warthog comes hurtling out of a burrow and a leopard is in the wrong place, you do not want to end up on the wrong end of a warthog. So yeah, unfortunately what does happen quite a lot at some of these lodges and towns, even Victoria Falls, we have zebra crossings in town, and when I say zebra crossing I mean literal zebras crossing the road. And warthogs living in town, goodness, there's a couple of very overweight warthogs in Victoria Falls that I don't think even know what a lion looks like. They're so overweight. But problem with these individuals of wildlife living too close with humans is people start to feed these wildlife, dogs, warthogs, baboons, monkeys, and then it does result in sometimes, human-wildlife conflict, shall we say, and people getting bitten or attacked by these wild creatures. So that's why I always do encourage people, please do not feed the animals when you go on safari in national parks or to camps and lodges, because the next person that comes by that might not be so friendly to feed the animals might end up on the wrong side of a warthog or a monkey. So always be very careful of these wild animals in camps. Alrighty folks, why don't we head back across to Tower Lodge and see what has just arrived at the watering hole. Wow, check out this guy folks. A beautiful elephant bull coming down to the watering hole. Look how he's holding his trunk, giving the air a bit of a sniff as he walks by. There's a few more elephants behind him there, so it could be a nice big bachelor herd of elephant bulls or breeding herd. Maybe if we're lucky, he'll come down and have a bit of a splish and a splash, enjoy the water. Maybe chase a crocodile off of his spot. Isn't this a majestic elephant? I do love how elephants do this kind of behavior with their trunk. I've seen it quite often with elephants, especially while crossing a river or a water source. They'll often kind of twist their trunk around and give it a bit of a flick, and that's how they try and smell, picking up any scents and smells around them, especially if they're nervous or unsure, unaware of what's happening. See, he's just giving a good old sniff, good old smell. And some characteristics are specific to specific elephants. So some elephants, just like humans, how humans, we all have our little ticks, our little things that we like to do, just the same as elephants. You sometimes get specific elephants that have a behavior that they might have learnt, or that they're very often might do at the same times, or can kind of identify them from different individuals. I wonder if he's going to come and chase our crocodile away and have a mud bath. It's looking lovely at Tau at the moment, I must say. Last year, dry season, it was looking very barren and dry. Where all this green vegetation is on the banks here was completely dry. All you saw was dust, sand and rocks. So it is lovely to see Madikwe Game Reserve is looking very green. A time of plenty, lots of food to go around. So what a lovely scenery at the moment.
For years, we've shared virtual wildlife. Now, let's experience it for real. I'm Lauren Arthur, and I'd love to show you my amazing home here in the Greater Kruger of South Africa. This 5-night journey is an exclusive connection to my piece of untamed Africa. I live here in these gorgeous landscapes surrounded by epic wildlife. The wild is calling, so come and join me.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube superfan community today.
My full name is Mpho Muthusi Tikani. I grew up in Soweto. My first animal that I filmed said to dog. Okay, no, it's my first animal that I filmed, I think it was an impala. Best sighting ever, I would say it was actually this year, 2024. But it was at this Cedric when we had Mulwati and TP on a warthog kill. I think we have to cut it.
Every month, something wild lands in your inbox. From rare sightings and behind-the-scenes secrets to expert stories, seasonal changes, and exclusive travel opportunities, the Wild Earth Journal is your free monthly mailer, packed with the magic of the wild straight from the field. It's fun, it's free, it's full of surprises. Sign up now on the Wild Earth website.
All of a sudden, the elephants got all upset and just started taking off and running in different directions. And yeah, I think the guests and the guide in that vehicle were not as calm and relaxed as us. So I have seen it in person where you have some vehicles stopping and elephants all of a sudden get quite upset, run away, whereas if you always have very calm nature, just talk to them very nicely, very calmly. A lot of these elephants react and respond in a very calm and relaxing manner. So yes, I do very much believe that animals can pick up on humans' energies, and they do react very differently. So thank you for your question, Canine Girl. I hope that answered your question. So we were talking earlier about elephants and how much they can drink. So an adult elephant bull about this size, this guy's probably in his late 30s, or I'd say mid to late 30s. He's still got a bit of growing to do. He can drink anything between 100 to 200 liters of water per day. Isn't that crazy? Drinking so much. I struggle to drink 4 to 5 liters a day in the dry season when it's very hot. Imagine these guys, 1 to 200 liters of water a day. And in one go, in his trunk, so this elephant's trunk, he can suck up about 10 to 12 liters at a time. Or if you're working in gallons, that's about 2 to 3 gallons at one time that an elephant can hold in their trunk. Alright, speaking of Tembe, folks, why don't we go and have a look what's happening with our elephants over in Tembe Elephant Park. I've got some woolly neck storks. Also come to join us this afternoon. Nice big elephant bulls. Love these elephants at Tembe Elephant Park. Folks, if you've been to South Africa and you haven't been to Tembe Elephant Park and you love elephants, then I really would recommend paying a visit. I mean, the bird life here in Tembe is also absolutely spectacular. Incredible bird life. Maybe if you're lucky you'll see those lions. Yeah, it's just very special all around kind of experience here in Tembe. While you're in the area, you might as well head across to Richards Bay in Tanzania. Yeah, go get some coastal birds ticked off your list. Maybe catch some whales or turtles. Would be really awesome. Yeah, St. Lucia, Isimongalisa Wetland Park, which is yeah, actually one of the very special and I feel like quite underrated national parks in South Africa. Isimongalisa Wetland Park in St. Lucia, not too far from Tembe Elephant Park. You'll also find a lot of Egyptian geese there. These guys kind of having a bit of a drink. But yeah, it's actually very unique. If you give it a Google, Isimongalisa Wetland Park is one of the very rare nature reserves in South Africa where you get a very special bush and beach experience. So they've got such unique and different habitats. They've got savannas, they've got lagoons, they've got coastal regions, they've got sand forests. It's a very, very cool wetland park to visit. You can get your, I think what duiker, they get a red duiker there. You get your plumed guinea fowl or crested guinea fowl. It's a very, very special and unique habitat. These two woolly neck stork are hanging out. So I haven't seen them for quite a bit, but lovely to have them back again. Sometimes there can be anything between 2 to 4 pairs of woolly neck stork all hanging down at the watering hole here at Tembe. The little tips of their bills are a bit red, so they're not reflecting or shining too much right now, but sometimes in the light you get a bit of a purple or blue green glisten off of their wings. So Their diet, they do feed in shallow waters, and they will feed on fish, amphibians, small reptiles, and when you see them moving in the grass, oh, check that, isn't that cute? A bit of a grooming session, so a monogamous pair. Yeah. So the diet is quite flexible, which does allow them to thrive in quite a diverse amount of habitats, such as wetlands, riverbanks, and even in close human settlements, because they can feed on quite a variety of prey. I do love the abdom stalks. So abdom stalks are very similar or very close to woolly neck stalks, but obviously they don't have that white neck. The abdom stalks, I have seen them during their migratory path through West Africa. I've seen flocks of shucks, probably 200-300 of them as they're all migrating up through to Asia. They come and stop over in West Africa, make massive flocks coming through. Really a very special sight to see all these storks migrating on their way to Asia for the breeding season. So Sarah, it is lovely to see these two woolly neck storks hanging out. There seems to always be at least one pair here at Tembe Elephant Park. Looks like the one's going to sleep. I haven't seen pied kingfisher here for a while. It'd be lovely to see a pied kingfisher. I know there is one that sometimes does hunt off of this tree just to our left, but he's been a little bit quiet. As of lately, we haven't seen him recently. They are known for their distinctive shaggy coats, these woolly neck storks. So lovely birds. The range of these birds, they do stretch across parts of sub-Saharan Africa. In some regions they can be found in parts of the Indian continent as well as Southeast Asia. Oh, sounds like we have some mouse birds, speckled mouse birds calling in the distance there. Love the birds here at Tembe. Always lovely to hear some forest birds. So these woolly neck storks, they are very social birds, especially while nesting. So they seem to nest in small groups while foraging. So during the breeding season, they can be seen in huge colonies gathered in loose groups for nesting. So it is an indicator species, these woolly neck storks, because they do depend on a healthy wetland and river ecosystem. So if you see woolly neck storks, you know that there is generally a healthy environment. Wow, there's a lot of reeded vegetation here. I wonder if this is hyacinths, water hyacinths, or what do they call it? Duckweed. So you do get these invasive weed plants. Invasive weed plants that do take up a water source, but to me it looks like water hyacinths. It can be very invasive. It does suffocate water sources and take up the water. See, you can barely see any water here, which can be a negative effect on the fish population in a pan or a water source. That doesn't look ideal. I think we need to get some volunteers in there and go and muck out all of that weed. It's perfect for some water birds for nesting, like the African jacanas. They very easily move across the top of the water there, but if it's can be negatively detrimental, because if they can't get access to the water for feeding purposes, then it can be a bit of a negative effect there on the ecosystem. Just having a look to see if we've got any other birds, any other waterfowl around. Maybe some white-faced whistling ducks or common moorhens. You can hear that sombre greenbill, very characteristic of very thick sand forest woodland environments. We did have a juvenile African fish eagle here a few months ago. I wonder if he is still around. Alrighty folks, I think there's some activity over at Tau Lodge, so why don't we head across to Tau and see what we can find there. Whoa, looks like the rest of our elephant breeding herd has come down to drink. Shucks, don't see this very often. Often see elephant bulls coming down to drink here, but it's probably one of my very few occasions I've actually seen a big breeding herd coming down to drink. Looks like we've got at least 3 big bulls in this herd as well, so what a lovely sight this is. We'll also keep a lookout for our other crocodile. I hope they're not hungry. Oh, look, there's a tiny little baby in there. How cute is that? Look at that little guy. It's probably just over a month or 2 old. So, yeah, nice to see some babies that have been born during the green season, because there were a few baby elephants that were born, or quite a lot of baby elephants that were born last year in the dry season. I know different areas have different peak periods where baby elephants might be born, but yeah, I think it's quite a hard life for a little baby elephant that is born in the dry season. They have to cover such long distances in order to find food and water. It's not always easy keeping up with the rest of the herd. What a lovely sight this is. This big elephant bull on the far right hand side looks like a completely different species with his different colour. He's probably been mud wallowing in another pan somewhere with completely different coloured mud. Keeping an eye out for these other crocodile. Where is this other crocodile? Oh, what a lovely scene that is. Check, we've got elephants, zebra, and more elephants. Oh, we've also got a wildebeest lying in the grass there. I didn't even see this wildebeest. Isn't that crazy? It's lying, probably a territorial male, just hanging out in the grass there. It's dark mane lover. I do agree with you. This is a lovely, elephantastic sighting. It's been, I can't even remember the last time I saw this many elephants over in Tau Game Lodge in Madikwe. Jive Bunny, yes, I agree with you. This is quite a special sighting here. Just waiting to see if there's a crocodile. I'd love to see some crocodile activity. Be really cool. But maybe not with all these little baby elephants around. Oh, I think elephant mud bath is about to take place. I think this pan here is not quite suitable for elephants to have a pool party, although a pool party would be awesome. Oh, look at this little elephant playing in the water in his trunk. Yeah, I definitely think some elephants would get stuck, especially the youngsters would get stuck in this mud. Yes, it's quite a treacherous little slope into the water here, and very muddy this location. Not the best spot for elephants to be messing around. Oh, there we go. There's our crocodile, folks. Finally. See, I'm sure he picked up on some movement, some activity, and came down to see if he could take a chance at maybe snacking on one of these little baby elephants.
We have just had our efforts paid off.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a serviceman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve.
Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do? Because we have another giant of Mabula. That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Like a nice shady bit of cloud has moved over here at Tau Game Lodge. Nice cool afternoon as we start heading into the dry season or safari season. Oh, look at this little one playing in the water with his trunk. So the elephants don't really seem to hang out very long here at this pan. Again, there's not really a super suitable place for them to mud wallow or mud bath, so they'll just breeze in and out, have a bit of a mud drink, and then make their way. Check out this little guy, he's got a lot of attitude for a tiny baby elephant. Full of beans. Smallest elephant in the whole family, but has the most energy. So baby elephants do have very playful personalities. These baby elephants are often called calves, and they do love frolicking around and engaging in games with other calves, which is very useful and helpful in order to develop their coordination as well as social skills. It's a very good benefit of being playful in baby elephants. Yes, Deb Davis, this elephant does have an unusual tusk. It does look like a bit of a hangnail. It looks rather irritating to me. I just want to twist it back the right way, if you know what I mean. But yeah, shame. It could be, like I mentioned, could be an array of things. It could be damaged while she was feeding, or maybe fighting with another individual. Oop, look at this little guy. Little baby elephant has been put in his place by a bigger bull. So Jive Bunny, so I'm glad that Madikwe is also on your bucket list, Jive Bunny. A lot of incredible wildlife sightings that you can experience here in Madikwe. Some also very unique, more grassland birds that you could tick off your list. I'd love to see some of the sandgrass. They probably have a very healthy population of sandgrass in this area. Maybe you can get some korans or bustards. I can imagine good koran and bustard population here. Maybe some stone chats would also be lovely in this area. So yeah, very cool, different destination for wildlife safaris. See the elephants really happily feeding on all of this grass and vegetation down here by the water. So these little elephants, they do have very close family bonds, and they are very much attached to their mothers. They might act quite brave and yeah, play and roam a bit further from their mother as they get older and older, but the minute anything goes wrong, they definitely take off as quickly as possible back to their mother's very tight socially connected bonds with their little ones. They will often cuddle up with their mothers for warmth as well as comfort, and the older elephants will frequently help care for these young ones. So it is quite cool, I find, is in any form of distress, or if elephants are threatened, they always will make a circle around the little baby ones. So you always have the little ones in the middle, surrounded by all of the adults in order to protect the youngsters. Oh, look at this little elephant. So Sergeant Sassy is asking a question about hippos. So Sergeant Sassy, hippos generally sleep during the day up on sandbanks in their little family groups, or they're also known as pods or harem of hippo. And at night they actually spend a lot of their time feeding. So hippos are herbivores, happy herbivores, and they will go out onto the banks and feed on grass at night. They only need to eat between about 30 to 60 kilograms of grass in a 24-hour period in order just to sustain their body weight, which is not very much for such a large mammal. I mean, if you think of elephant, like a big female elephant would need to eat between 110 to 120 kilograms of grass, or food, should I say. A big male would need to eat between 160 to 180 kilograms of food in a 24-hour period. So yeah, it's not very much that hippos need to eat to sustain their bodies, but they do need to feed a bit at night. So they spend a lot of time, hippos, during the day sleeping and resting in the safety of their harem or herd on a sandbank in the rivers. Generally, I know there's a misconception that hippos can't swim very well. They actually can swim very well, hippos, but they will rest up on sandbanks. They don't normally hang out in places where there's many sand, where there's deep water. That's only if they're crossing or moving from one area to the next, but generally they spend most of their time on shallower sandbanks as long as they're covered by the water. So Deb Davis is asking about some safari on horseback adventures. I'm not sure, Deb Davis, if you're asking for some stories, but I'll happily share some safari stories with you. So yeah, horseback safaris is one of my big passions. Don't normally do much game drives unless it's for Wild Earth at the live locations. Otherwise, the rest of my guiding, I really much prefer to be on a horse, on a boat, on a kayak, in a canoe, more adventure-filled activities or safaris. So I've had a lot of really, really amazing encounters on horseback. For me, horseback is a very special place to view game, to view wildlife. A lot of the animals around you, as soon as they hear the horses also eating and feeding and munching, they think that they are just another animal or like a zebra. So it does calm other animals around you. I've had a few interesting charges with elephants, mostly all positive, but there's of course had a few times where you bump into a grumpy young elephant bull, maybe in must, or a female that's got some calves that she needed to protect. Always gets the adrenaline pumping a little bit. On my last safari, Shem, there was a young elephant bull that had a snare that they were trying to locate so we could remove the snare, and he was quite a grumpy chap. He was actually coming to the stables and chasing the horses and causing all kinds of nonsense, so we had to keep clear of that guy. Definitely do feel a lot more mobile and quicker to respond when you're on a horse rather than in a vehicle. But
my name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think, because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild.
My full name is Tikani. Best part of my job is coming to see nature. Worst part of my job is logging. That's the worst thing ever, because you have to log amount of footage. You sit in front of that computer and you think of deleting the footage, but no, they need the footage. If I want a camel, probably a soccer player. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm very good, and I'm very fast.
Did swim right across the pan here just now. I'm sure he's lurking in the water somewhere. Oh, so have a look at this one female in the middle of this herd here. She looks rather round, rather pregnant. Looks like she could be maybe having her next calf sometime soon. So the general gestation period for elephants is between 22 to 24 months. Whoop, one elephant is right in the pan here on the right. So they've actually, recent studies have shown that for males, if a female elephant is giving birth to a male calf, that her gestation period is a little bit longer than if she is giving birth to a female calf. These elephants are just having the best Sunday afternoon, hanging out in the grass. A few of them are coming down, having a mud bath, cooling off, and just enjoying their Sunday afternoon. Got a grey go-away bird calling there. It's lovely to listen to the sounds of nature. All the birds calling. Just a very calming, lovely calming way to spend your Sunday. Oh, check out this little baby. Just yeah, playing with this other sibling close by. Isn't this so cute? Little baby elephants. I don't know if that baby is able to fully use his trunk yet, so they do take quite some time before they're actually able to use that trunk. There's so many muscles in an elephant's trunk, more than in the human body, and so it does take quite a while for them to learn to maneuver their trunk, what to use it for, how to use it, get those muscles activated and working. So yeah, lovely to see this little guy, this little elephant, and see what he will grow into one day. Oh, we've got a grey heron that's also joined us. Have a look at this guy. I haven't seen this grey heron for quite some time. Lovely grey heron in the water, just on the bottom right of the screen. Maybe if we're lucky we'll see a kill. Saw a great white egret having a kill earlier. Looks like he caught a little fish of some sort. Such majestic birds. Check at them in the water there. They'll also feed on little fish, frogs, aquatic invertebrates, insects, and little critters. I've seen them eating little mice before, so they really do have quite a varied diet, these herons. Very good eyesight, very patient and cunning while hunting. Oh. Thank you to all of our viewers for watching today. Darkmane Lover, Deb Davis, Alex, and Canine Girl, thanks for sharing. Thanks for all your comments. Please don't forget to tune into the Sunset Safari coming up next. It has been an absolute pleasure to be with you today, live at the Waterhole. And I look forward to joining you tomorrow, same time, same place, also live at the Waterhole. And yeah, it'll be great to see what else is in store for us this week here live at the Waterhole. We'll just watch these elephants have a mud bath and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, folks. From me, the rest of the Wild Earth crew, just want to wish you a happy Sunday.